Oh man.
Let's go. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey, what's going on, world? It's your girl Shy, and welcome back to the CheyTea podcast.
Boop, boop.
Man, oh man.
Holy.
It's been a while.
What's going on, family?
What's happening?
What's happening?
We're outside. Well, a little
Not
bit.
really.
Not really. Not at all.
Not at all.
Just trying to sound like
Just trying to sound like, man, like man's been doing things, but like we're not really outside. No?
Mans are just busy.
I work.
Busy. Oh God. Anyways,
How y'all doing?
welcome back to the CheyTea podcast. I am your host, Cheyenne Shante.
And it's your girl, Aaliyah Nora. You know the vibes.
What was the pause for?
Honestly, I don't really know.
Okay,
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, me too. You already know the drill. Just make sure why you do that, man? Shut up. Sorry. Just make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. You will find us at CheyTea Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok.
Yeah, you know the vibes. You know, we post there when we're not posting videos. You know, keep up with the people them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, tell them to subscribe.
Oh, dry. Oh my gosh,
That's
guys,
where you
I'm so
had to
sorry.
go.
So subscribe to the YouTubes. Click the notification bell so you're notified every single time we upload. Like, comment. You know the vibes.
Okay, there you go. That's good.
Yeah,
It's been a while for you.
So do I forgot.
I was like, that was a
Yeah.
perfect segue to go into the YouTube. But this girl's like, yeah, keep going. She said, yeah, I don't know what's next. I forgot.
But we here.
Yeah, we are here. We are entering Libra season.
Yeah. So I'm look a little down right now, but go soon reach, baby.
I like down because I do not business. That's
That
why.
too, to be quite, let me stop making excuses. I just don't care.
Like, listen.
It's just really just what you're getting at this point. I'm alive and well, so I feel like,
that part.
you know what I'm saying? I like these pants.
Oh, thank you.
It's kind of
Shein.
fire. Oh,
Yeah, man.
neck. Wow.
Yeah, comfy too.
Yeah, man, yeah. Yo, honestly, guys, you'd think that like we see each other a lot, but now that like my girl's just been busy, like I feel like I don't talk to her. Like I have a beef to pick with her. She don't answer my text messages right away, like when I need her to.
Oh my God.
Like she used to. Now she has a life. Apparently.
I'm so busy that like it's insane.
Like, I don't like it.
Actually insane.
Like I
And
like it.
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, let's just get right into it because, might as well. I am like, I'm an artistic director for a dance studio. This is like a semi announcement. I'm artistic director for a dance studio that I work at, and thank you so kindly.
Ooh, God bless. No man can curse. Yeah.
Please clear your throat, no?
Oh, G's on peace. Ooh, God bless. No man can curse.
There you go. That's better.
There you go.
Yeah. So I am in this new role. It is a lot. It's more than I had anticipated, to be perfectly honest with you, because there's a lot of like cleaning up that had to be done. And then by the time we cleaned everything up, before I knew it, it's September and classes have started. And then I have to take off my hats after certain times because then I am still a dance teacher at the end of the day. So I artistically direct, and then I also teach, and then I also have to make sure everybody's good. And then I also have to make sure that I'm good. So it's a lot, and it's different.
What's what I'm looking for? Transition. Because when you're used to doing something for so long and you're so comfortable being like a teacher and everything and a choreographer, and you've been in that same position for so long, like it's like your comfort zone. Now stepping into something else, it's like, oh, dry. Like there's more to the, like we've always known there's more to this dance thing than obviously just being a dance teacher, but you never really realize until like you're actually in it. Like you see how much work it is, and like you see, like now you take off your teacher hat and like you're looking at all the other teachers like, wow, this is different.
It's different. And teaching will always come natural for me. But, and you know, like I also tend to know how to like lead and like be professional and things like that. However, it's just a different environment, to be perfectly honest. And I think with it being a different environment for me, that's where it's like some adjusting. It's a lot of adjustments have been made, and now it's just figuring out how to like now process everything and like actually go into like full throttle with being an artistic director and also teaching and also choreographing and also casting and then also dancing. Like it's a lot in one plate to just juggle and manage everything.
It is, but you know, God is gonna pull you through, and this is a nice change, and it's nice. It's not like a bad a lot, in my opinion. I say this as like as if I'm an artist director too, but like it, I feel like it's a good thing, and like it's something to just like look forward to, because at the end of the day, like something, when you start something new, it's obviously gonna be a little bit stressful, but like I feel like once the ball starts rolling, wheels start turning, mans are riding the bicycle, we're good.
Yeah, we'll get there. I know, like I'm confident I'll do a really good job. I'm confident that, you know, things will work out well for me.
Yeah. Like you said, you already have like the leadership skills. So I feel like that's like one major thing that one would need in this kind of position. So I feel like it's kind of like that's good that like you already had that type of skill going on already. So I mean, we're here for it.
Yeah, and it's good because I also have like a good support team, a good partner. I won't announce anything yet for her because I'm not sure what she wants to do yet. But I have a really really good, experienced and seasoned.
She has good help
with
which
me,
we love. So and a little partner in crime.
Yeah, a little partner. You know what I'm saying?
You know the vibes. See.
So, how are you? How is? I feel like I truly haven't seen you in a while.
I lie. Missy, don't it?
Oh God.
Yeah. You know, life has been really good. I've been making some changes that I'm not gonna Father, forget. Sorry, G's on peace. Man, she cussed me. I've been making some adjustments of my life, and positive adjustments that I will soon tell the world. I haven't told Chan yet. It's nothing like extravagant, but like, you know, some life things. You know, our girls are doing very well, guys. For all of you who care about the CFL, and I don't really care if you don't care about it because I care. So which is a very good thing. Dance is going well. Gonna do another training program again because why not? Keep my foot moving, my back bending, you know, keep my spirits high, continuing to grow my relationship with the Lord, you know, the vibes, you know, like just good changes. Okay, friends, good changes. We're in a good mental space currently, you know, have my little ups and downs and my little cry moments, but I feel like that's just normal.
Oh gosh, yeah, we're gonna get into that. I don't know. I wanted like this episode to just kind of like give everybody like a bit of an update with life before we get into like topics that pertain to life, but like with my life, not obviously including, you know, the changes that have been made. But I have realized something that I think everybody needs to be okay with, and I practice saying this so that I don't cry. So I'm not going to cry. But I think I needed to take a little bit more time with my grieving process with Mumi passing. And I think because I was so focused on being there for mom and like being her backbone support and making sure she was good, I didn't really like pay attention to me. Like I cried, obviously. I cried here and there.
Yeah, but like you didn't like focus.
But I didn't like focus.
Crying.
Yeah,
and like letting it out.
And because I've always been like, I gotta like keep up and make sure your mom's good. Like I'll always ask like, how are you doing? How are you today? How was your week this week? How has it been? Like literally just always asking her. And I never really like took in the fact that like I myself have not really like processed everything. And we know that death is a part of life. We know that it's a part of, you know, our stories. We hear it through God. We heard it through Christ.
It's a journey we're all
It's a
gonna go
journey
through.
that exactly that we've all been through, gone through, go through, and we've experienced passings before, and we've experienced death because it's a part of life. You know, I think there's differences with everybody who's passed away,
Yeah.
but like with like Auntie, with her passing, it was like a little bit of like guilt, but I kind of knew. But then I also like, you know, I was also able to see her a little bit before she died, but then I wasn't there when she passed.
Yeah.
And then with like Grandpa, it was, I think it was harder for more so you, but it was also hard for me because I didn't. We have like he wasn't here. He was in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So I think for me it was a little bit different, but I think what also made me what also made it kind of easier to cope with was that, like, I think 2 days before he passed, I spoke with him on the phone. And what I always loved about Grandpa is that no matter what, like,
He knew who he was
he
talking
knew
to.
he was talking to.
Yeah.
And like he knew it was me, and I'd be like, "Do you know who this is?" He'd be like,
Like,
"Of
what do you mean?
course,
What do you
what do you
mean?
mean?
Yeah.
Cheyenne."
Yeah.
And you know, he
He knew the
always said
difference
my
between both of us.
name,
Yeah.
and he always sang my name.
Yeah.
Like he never just said Cheyenne. Like he would sing my name. So
Yeah.
like that warmed my spirit. But I think, you know, with Mummy, she was like the first grandparent that we actually that never left the country. Like she came from Jamaica and stayed and didn't like, you know, in England.
But she never
just,
spoke like she did.
right? You would think she was
Bro,
born and
my girl
raised.
sound like she just came back.
No, Grandma was here for
Yeah.
years, and
Like she was our closest grandparent because she was physically here.
yeah,
Like everybody else was like, and like we were blessed to know our great grandmother, but she wasn't here she went back.
yeah.
So it was also different. So I feel like because we were so close with Mummy, it was a different type of experience when it comes to passings in the family. Like everybody else was kind of like, we were very much sad, obviously, but I think it was sadness because of time
Yes.
and distance. This is like, we had all the time and like barely any distance. You just hop on a highway, you're right there. So I feel like the dynamics of it was a lot different. And I think that's probably why, but I can speak for both of us. Like the grieving process of it was, I think now it's coming now, like after, because now I'm like, wow, like it's real now. Like it comes like this, because I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, wow, and then like it's kind of like confusing, and then now I'm like, okay, like now I'm like I can understand what you mean. Like I can feel it now. Like I'm fully able to process it now, rather than I was when like it first happened.
It didn't even feel like that it's been like 10 months. It feels like it happened yesterday. Like I can't believe like we're almost approaching a year.
Time just flew.
Time completely flew because I literally remember it like it was yesterday.
Same.
When like I was with her a couple of days, and then like it's weird. And I just think that I think what I was able to honestly admit to myself is that like I'm broken, like completely. And I didn't think that I would stay in this place for as long as I am. And, you know, this is the first time I can say it without me crying. Cause I think the first time when I was like going through it and trying to practice the words, cause I knew I wanted to talk about this today, I completely like bawled. I was in the car and I just started crying.
Yeah.
And it's hard to admit that, but I am. Like I'm not happy. I flood myself with work. I flood myself with distractions. I will just keep everything moving. So I don't have to focus on the fact that like I'm hurt. I'm sad. And like I miss her. And it's just so weird because it's like, I know she's in heaven. I know all these things. And like, I know it's a part of life. I know that this is God's time and I know this is God's work. I know, I connect with her. I speak to God through her. I speak to her through God. You know what I mean? Like I know all these things. I know in my heart that like she's okay and I know she's watching over me, but then
Yeah.
it's like the selfish part of me is like yearning for that hug.
But I think
That
it's just all a part of the process of like grieving. Like
yeah.
we have to feel that way, and like we're gonna have our selfish moments. But what always helps is that like she was an older lady. We're just not gonna ball her age. So if you know, you know. Like it that kind of helps me a little bit to know that like she lived a very long life. So it's just like don't feel so sad about it.
No,
For
I
me,
know.
that kind of helps me a little bit.
I
Not a
know.
lot, but like
I know she lived a long life, and that's like what's like makes it a little bit more comforting versus like our other grandparents who passed at such a young age, I would
yeah.
say. But she did, and she lived a long life, even with her being stubborn with certain things. Like she
Yeah.
lived a long life, and she lived longer than what doctors had predicted. So
Yeah.
that's God, and I know all those things. I just I don't know if I'm being impatient with myself. I don't know what it is, but like I just don't want to feel like this. And I know that it's selfish for me to say that maybe, but I just don't like this feeling. I don't like this. And it's like in my head I'm like selfishly I'm like asking like when is this going to pass?
It's not going to, because I had a conversation with my therapist and she was just telling me that like you're gonna get random feelings at any time in your life.
Any time.
And she means like, and she's like, I'm not talking like tomorrow, a week. She's like, I'm talking like when you're older. She's like, I'm talking like 5 years from now. You're gonna sit down and probably cry about it and think to yourself, my grandmother could be 95 at this point if she was alive, but you're still gonna cry. She's like, it doesn't matter how old you are, what part of your life, there's gonna be something small that or is gonna remind you of somebody who has passed on, and you're gonna feel that emotion. She's like, that's just what life is. And when she said that, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
you're right.
I feel
so you're
that.
never really gonna get over something, and the grieving process never necessarily stops because you're always gonna feel something, whether it is a grandparent, a friend of mine that I went to elementary school passed, and I can't believe it's been a decent amount of time since he's passed. And although we weren't the closest in our adult years, I still feel it, and I still think about him sometimes, and he still comes across my mind, and I'm just like, wow, like it's been X amount of years since his passing. Like, I can't believe it. So, like, that kind of made me understand, okay, like, it's okay to grieve forever. Just because, and you don't necessarily always have to cry when it comes to grieving, I feel like.
Yeah,
and
that was my next point.
Yeah, like, you don't always have to necessarily cry. And I feel like just that kind of, like, the sadness is going to come. And then, like, I think of something happy and I'm like, and then I kind of feel better. And then I kind of go about my day. But it's always gonna be in your brain, like it's never gonna leave.
That's for sure, because I think now I'm at a point where at any moment I can just like get angry, like because I can cry at any moment, and then I can feel anger at any moment. And that's like where I'm at now. I'm not angry with anyone in particular, or I'm not intentionally trying to be an angry or mean person, but I shield my emotions when I joke, when I add humor, light humor, when I'm playful. I want to laugh, so I'll say things. I will say, I'll be me, and that's my way of just shielding my vulnerability and my emotions when it just comes to anything, when it comes to things that I've been through, when it comes to my past, when it comes to grieving. But especially now, I just use that to really shield it because I just know I'm not okay. And I don't intentionally ever want to snap on anybody, but it's like my grieving point is like if you shake a can of pop, you shake a bottle of pop, it explodes.
Yeah.
So like I'm in a moment in my life where I don't ever want to feel like if like something is poking at me, then I can just at any moment just snap. Because after that, when I have a moment to like sit back and just evaluate the situation, I just say to myself like, crap, I should have handled this better, or I could have done this
Yeah.
better, which I know that everybody is going through things, and and every action comes with a reaction, and that's on whomever side of the spectrum this is pertaining to. But for me in particular, because I'm so broken and because I'm so hurt, it's hard to control and contain my emotions.
I also think that goes around with like people who are around you too. Because even with me, like sometimes like things will irritate me when I'm at work or like when I'm on road or like things like that. And like although like the people like for example like say like people that like I work with or so like they don't know, but sometimes they don't know that their comments might set me off. And it's kind of like this is why people say like be careful what you say to other people because you don't know what somebody's going through. And now when you're going through certain things and like currently what I'm going through, like I really take that in and I'm like, wow, like I really have to be careful, even with myself, because I can get a little spicy sometimes. I can come
Yeah,
off
me
as
too.
a little bit aggressive or attitudey. Like I get it. So I've realized now, being on the outside, feeling a certain way, and then getting certain energy from certain people, whether that's a stranger or whatever, you have to be careful what you say because you don't know what somebody else is going through, and somebody can easily snap, and they're not snapping at you; they're just snapping at what you said
Right,
and
to
how
trigger
you
them.
said it, and you
Yeah.
triggered something, and then all those built up emotions that somebody's holding in, you just got the end of it because you just said something that set them off. Hence, when you shake a can of Coke, it's gonna explode when you open it.
Yeah. That's exactly like you took the words out of my mouth. And again, anybody could be triggered in any situation, but I think that if so, like for me, I'm the kind of person where if I'm really trying to like if I realize that something is going left, I try my best to take control of it because I am aware of how quick I can just
Snap.
snap
Yeah.
because I know it because I feel it. Even like just like even like at home with my boyfriend, like sometimes it's the same thing. Like I just have to be like, oh crap, like I'm getting annoyed. Let me just go take a shower. Let me go lay down. Let me just go do something because before I had so much more patience for certain things, but because I'm going through this stage of my life, I know that I don't want to be that ticking time bomb. But I know I don't know anybody else's situation as well. But if I'm trying to control something and like if a narrative is going one way and I'm trying to change it in a different direction, in a more positive direction, and then it just keeps going in the direction of the negative, that's where like I can start to get frustrated. And then that's when I'm just like, okay, like listen, like what else do I have to do for it not to do this? I need to control this. I need to get a grip on this so that it doesn't go in a way where I get angry. And then it's like one thing can just make me snap. And as soon as that happens, it also like as quickly as I snap is as quickly as I snap back into reality.
Yeah.
Where I'll look around and I'll be like crap, and then I'm like crap, and then I get mad, and then the frustration tears start to flow. So it's not like it's frustration tears, it's sad tears, it's I'm grieving tears, it's every type of tear will just start to flow, and then I just get frustrated. And I'm human, and I know that I'm entitled to my emotions. I know that I'm allowed to show emotions. I know all those things, but I just think everyone is going through something, and I think that some people need to understand that people have reactions off of things that you may not know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And you need to also sit back and say to yourself, is it worth going down this direction if I don't know what the response back is going to be
Yeah,
for
like
me?
do I need to react so aggressively just because I'm getting a certain reaction from this person? Like if somebody's being aggressive towards me, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I do get aggressive back. Like people will say make comments and I'll be like, so what's that supposed to mean? Like you don't know me
Yeah.
type situation.
Yeah.
And I've been in those situations and I'm like sometimes like I don't even need to say anything to you. Somebody made a comment about me and like the way I interact with others and like how I don't interact with others. And a part of me wanted to just be like,
Do you know what I'm going through?
do you know me? And just because like I don't physically always talk to people or I don't always make conversation, that doesn't necessarily mean that like I don't like you
Yeah.
or I'm mean. I'm just very much to myself. I'm very loud and obnoxious to people that I know and that I'm been comfortable with. But just because I behave a certain way sometimes, that doesn't mean that's who I am. So instead of me reacting and getting upset and yelling, I just kept silent. I walked away. And that was the first time that I think in a while that I never reacted aggressively, where I never snapped. Because usually I'd be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, who do you think you're talking to? Do you know who I am? Rather than reacting like that, I just walked away.
Yeah, but sometimes like no response is the best response as well. And that's something that I fight with because
All the time.
I try not to give a response. I'll try to be like, okay, like it's done. Like I'll try my best. But if you keep going like this, you can't expect me or a person, especially I'll talk for myself. You can't expect me not to just fly off. You know what I mean? And I think especially with you in the setting that happened in, that was in a professional setting, which that's not the time or place to say something. But it's like, I can imagine if someone was, if that person had continued, I think it would have probably went a different way, but you were able to control it. Because the person said what they said and then they stopped and then they expected something from you, but you walked away.
Yeah.
Now, imagine if this person just kept going.
There would have been a different story. And somebody was with me when it happened. So the person that was with me kind of just like,
it was like, okay, like
let
chill.
it go. And I said, you know what, you're right. And I just let it go. Because sometimes, again, like Shannon said, like no reaction is best reaction, because I'd rather not give you the satisfaction of me getting upset right now.
Yep.
Like I'd rather just not.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the energy for that. And to be honest, like sometimes you make jokes. It's like I'm already going through it. So like I don't really want to.
Yeah.
Like I don't
sometimes
really
I just
have
don't
time.
feel like talking to people. Sometimes it's just because of my life. It's just because of my surroundings. It's because of what I see happening around me. Like it's nothing that's personal. Sometimes I just don't feel like talking. Like what's wrong? There's a lot wrong. But I like, where do I
So
start?
real. Like, what do you want me to?
Like, where do I start? Like, cause there's a lot.
You got time?
You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes it's like just let me be silent and process things.
Like when people say hi, how are you? Please don't ask me how I'm doing.
Girl,
just say hey. Good
just
morning.
say hi. I hope you have a good day. I'll be like, yeah, me too.
Me too.
Like,
like I'm laughing, but it's so true. Cause it's
true.
Like, dog, just say hi. Good morning. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a blessed day. Hope you have a better day than yesterday.
Yeah.
We should start doing that.
Yeah.
Instead of good morning, because I'm not morning yet. Well, I am kind of morning. Just blessed evening, blessed day. Hope you have a better day than yesterday. Yeah. We need to start using those lingos in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like those things. And it's like in the process of all of it, still just rebuilding and strengthening my relationship with God is like my focus. And I feel like also too, the temptation of anger is also what drifts me away sometimes. And then like, you know, with sadness and grief, I know that's a part of it with life. And I know that's God's way of saying like, you're going to go through this, but he's still there for you. But yeah, I want to be able to, I want to be able to be okay. I know I'm going to grieve. I know I'm going to have my moments. I know I'm going to get sad. I want to accept that. I want to be okay with myself not being okay. I want to be okay with me having emotions, and I want to take time on me.
Yeah.
I want to take time with what I'm doing. I want to take time for Cheyenne. And that's where things start to get affected with things I don't want to step away from. But that's where I feel sometimes I have to go. And I feel sometimes I have to step away from people. And I think sometimes just even stepping away from just like adding more things to my plate. And that's why, you know, this podcast, it's been really like inconsistent because and like sometimes I'll see the followers going, I see it going down, and I'm just like, ugh. And I try, but then I'm just like, I have so many things, and like I don't want it to seem like I'm not focusing on this just because of how everything had transpired. I don't want to give up on it, but
it's not giving up. It's just because sometimes more times you have to just let it be and like let things just be what it is. Like, yeah, like we take breaks and stuff, and like sometimes we have our moments, but like shout out to y'all who keep rocking with us, but like it's just life. Yeah. And like not everything, like obviously it's still like a small podcast, but not everything is broadcast on social media, and sometimes you need a social media break. Even if we didn't have this podcast, sometimes taking a social media break from just your regular scrolling on Instagram is very much needed, because the things you see on social media
Triggers
kind
you.
of triggers you. So it's just like, even sometimes that getting off Instagram for a little bit is just good to
Yeah.
just step away and just step back to like touch the grass a little bit. Because there was a point in time where we didn't have any of this.
Yeah.
We couldn't come on a podcast and start talking. We couldn't go on social media and vent about our feelings. We didn't have that. You literally had to like go outside and like play with your friends.
No, that's facts. And I think the reason why like sometimes I get impatient with myself, and again, it's like that's my biggest thing is being impatient with myself, is because I want it to work. I want it to be successful. And sometimes when you want something more than the time is being given to you by God, that's where you start to get frustrated.
Because you're trying to work on your time and not his.
Right. And I'm working on my time. And with me doing so much and juggling so much, like I know if I find a routine and I stick with the consistency, like I can do it. But sometimes when something throws me off, or when there's like a wrench that gets thrown into your plans or something, like sometimes I don't know how to dodge these things. And then when it happens, I just feel like everything is like more dramatic than what it needs to be. But I do want to stay consistent. I do want this podcast to work. I do want it to be a thing. And the reason why I say so much is because I know that I still, as much as this is our podcast, I know that like the expectations of things is I took more of that leadership role, just because again, this is something that I asked you to do with me and you've agreed and you're doing it and you're doing a fabulous job. But I still just want to make sure that like the things that happened before doesn't get repeated this time. And I know like you're my sister and it's a different situation, but again, like I don't want that expectation or that workload to go on to you. But I also don't know how to say like I need help with certain things because I want to do everything myself.
But you also do too much. And I feel like because you have to understand that you have to, not everything can happen at once. And you've always been the one to always do a lot and to always spread yourself thin, even before new positions and things. Like you've always done that. And I think that's something, it's not a bad thing, but I feel like that's something that you have to kind of learn to just like not always want to do so much and not always want to take on so much, not always have to do everything at once or have everything happen at a certain time or have a time frame or have a end goal and like this has to happen. I think if you try to just let yourself be and just do, things will come a lot easier for you and you'll understand time management a little bit better, in the sense of like, I don't always have to be doing 50 million things right now. I need to do this. Let me just focus on this for a second. Because you like to spread yourself thin sometimes. And I'm like, Brenda, like you don't have to do everything at once. Like it is fine.
Yeah. I think sometimes because like I want to like
You have
build a
certain
routine
expectations
and
with
for
yourself.
I have expectations with myself that like I can do it. I just need
You
to stay
can.
focused.
You just have to spread it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because you can do it. It's not that you can't. It's just you spread yourself too thin. And you do too much, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, but also you have to rest your mind, rest your brain.
But this also is like that. This is also like therapeutic for me. So I think that's why I so badly wanted to like make everything work, is because there's been so much that has transpired, but in the same time, it's also been a coping mechanism for me because I've been able to like talk it through. And it's just like having a therapist and like things like that, being able to talk through my emotions.
Yeah.
That's what I use this podcast for. So maybe that's also another reason why I'm like, man, we got to post, man, we got to do this, man, we got to do that, because it's also an outlet where I get to use to express my emotions. So I think finding the balance and adjusting is something that we have to do. I think it's okay for me to like not feel guilty if I ask you for help or like give you tasks, or if we make a plan for us to both be more in it, instead of it just being me, because I don't want to feel like that guilt of asking you to do something. I think that's what I have to get over, that hump, and just like say, okay, like I need help with this. What can we do together? Like, can you do this? Can you do that? Or if I show you more so like how to do something or teach you how to do something, so then that way I can feel like I don't always have to get things done right. In order to get it done right, I have to do it myself. So yeah, that's a kind of like a step that I want to go in that direction. So we'll see. But yeah, that was just me being vulnerable for a sec, letting everybody know what's going on through my mind and my spirit. And yeah, I love you, Grandma. I miss you. And I know that God is with me and my sweetheart will always be with me. So
Praise God.
yeah, he'll pull us through.
Amen. I still watch wrestling, Loki.
Bro, I can't really watch wrestling. Like I watch it, but I can't watch it because then like I start to cry.
Really?
Yeah, man.
No, I honestly, and see, I'm the opposite. I watch it and it makes me feel better.
Yeah, it comforts because like that's
Yeah,
something that
I'm definitely the opposite. I definitely go on YouTube and I watch all the old Royal Rumbles. Yeah, I'm not afraid to admit that.
you should. All right, so it's kind of like, I mean, it's still like not a good topic, but I want to talk about this like whole this ghetto way of living right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen,
Me spending $60 on groceries because that's all the budget I could budget.
let me tell you something, okay?
And I only bought breakfast foods
It is literally
and snacks.
literally that's all you can afford.
And
Is
literally, I didn't buy
meal.
dinner.
One meal you gotta pick: breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
And then I said, how can I finesse this into lunch and dinner? So about some turkey bacon, some wraps. Guy, struggle.
Like,
Praise
I just
God,
need to
though.
know.
Praise God.
I'm glad. I'm glad. First of all, amen. God is good.
God is
I have
great.
a life. I wake up every day, and my time hasn't expired yet. By the
Amen.
grace of the Lord. Amen. But why? Like,
Bro.
why? Okay, I'm saying this like as much as I'm laughing about it, it's really bad.
It's actually sad.
Like it's really bad and it's really sad that like life is just getting so expensive. We're like, you don't even take a second to think if you should steal or not, because
like we're just going to steal.
Yeah, at
like
this
I'm
point-
going to the self checkout at Shoppers and I'm going to put remove item. Like I'm going to do
and
it.
I might accidentally leave something in my bag, forgetting that it's there, but knowing damn well it's there
Definitely.
because I just know I
Exactly.
can't afford it.
And the Lord is going to forgive me. I'm so sorry. I can't do it. Like I physically cannot. I saw an article today and it was talking about how restaurants are complaining about the decline in like restaurant goers. I'm like, brother, a juice is $25. Oh, you expect me to come out to my house for $25?
Like when someone says, "Let's go for drinks," I'm like,
Drinks where?
"Drinks or drink."
One sauce I drink half a sip whole night.
One juice is $13. Let me tell you that
13?
$13 I gotta sit down with me.
Let me tell you something.
13 is already enough.
My big friend Alex, okay, we went out to this Italian restaurant in Oakville, okay?
So that's your first problem. Is you went to Oakville.
Listen, when you go with Alex, and I know, like, when you go with Alex, you're spending money.
Yeah.
Okay? Took me to this bougie restaurant, okay? And that man asked what I want to drink. Obviously, I'm not going to tell him water. So I said, I like tequila and something sweet. The man said, no problem. And the man brought back the juice in a martini glass, okay? The man said, I made the drink with Don Julio. When I tell you my heart stopped.
Yeah, because that Don Julio was like $50.
And I didn't ask for the Don Julio. I got the receipt back to pay for the bill, guys.
That's where you messed up. You should have told the man just go free nearly make your drink. And how much should have told which tequila you're using. Use cheap stuff.
Asked him for the Castigos, the Jose Cuervo. I know it's not called Jose Cuervo, guys. By the way, I should have just asked for those lot bread of the juice was $27, and that wasn't the food. It's $27 for 3.
At that point, I'd have to figure out which one you want to get back because I can't do it.
And I already sipped on it.
Hey man, I'd be like, don't like it. It was gross.
Bro, like it's like I'm laughing because it's funny, but like I'm also laughing because I can't cry.
No, I would like life is like, yo, it's impossible. Like this system is literally set for us to fail.
No, it is.
Because there is no desire in making life easier for humans on this earth. It's like we are just trying to get rid of you and stress you all out in any way which possible that we possibly can. Because right now, God is not coming for you quick enough. So we got to figure out something else
And the joke is God soon come because Like I saw TikTok and the girl was like how she's nervous because I'm on Christian TikTok, guys, because don't try to change my life. And she's like how the Lord might come before she gets married and has children. And that just brought me in a whole whirlwind of thoughts. And I'm like, guys,
Yeah,
what
man,
is
because
going on?
them try to say UFO day here, all the
Brenda.
me FO, and I'm like, listen here and
But
listen
them
to
I
me
find
good.
skeleton alien and them thing there. Nah,
I was like,
Brenda.
no. You guys having big meetings in the courtrooms and stuff? No.
Somebody invite me to the meetings.
No.
What are we talking about?
No. That's why I'm like,
Oh
listen, I
my
need to hurry up
God.
and have
I'm
picnics so I
telling
can have
you
some type of legacy year
because
because this is not it.
I need something.
I need something
Something.
because it ain't working.
Oh my gosh.
It's so bad because like I was watching TikTok and it just brought me back to my own story, but I was watching TikTok and the two sisters were renting together and they were paying $2,500.
Yeah.
Then the landlord raises it to $3,500. And then the sisters are like, whoa, dear, that's a lot of money. It's a whole leap of an increase. Try to see if it was legal. And rightfully so for the landlord, it is legal because the condo was built, I think it's 2018 and older. If condos are built then, they have no rent control. So they can increase the rent to whatever they want. So the sisters now complained about that. And then the landlord was like, yeah, you're going to complain about this? Well, let's raise it up some more. And the landlord tried to tell them to pay $9,500.
But me want to know, right? Landlord, listen to me, please, and listen to me proper. Where them forget that kind of money there? Where them find it? Where are they supposed to find it? They could barely find a little $2,500, but now you want $9,500? Oh, they must have drink. Yo, I can't even say because I'm about to listen to this podcast. But you know what I'm gonna say? Y'all drink something not good, okay? That's madness. Where are people supposed to get money from? Where?
That's what I'm trying to, you know.
Like, I don't understand.
You know
like, how are you raising things without knowing where the income is coming from?
No, but there's no income to raise. That's the part I don't understand. You're raising, but the income now is. Like, the income is staying, yes, sir, and everything I go up, yes, sir. And
but the money not much.
Right. So how you expect us to live? And I'm still getting paid the bare minimum.
Yo,
the minimum bare.
A girl said, let me get ready to go get these crumbs because she's like, I can't save bread because they're not paying me enough to save bread. So let me just go get these crumbs as a paycheck. And I'm like, wow.
Because at that point, that's literally what it is.
It is.
Like, as quick as I get paid is as quick as it's gone.
It's giving the bread back. Like, that's what it's giving. It's not even giving the nice sliced toast bread. It's giving bread back.
Like, and it's like, it's crazy because with there not being any rent control, which I don't understand why the Ontario government, why the government can't bring that back. I just don't get why they can't bring it back. Because if you leave this open room just for anybody to do anything, it's like people are paying an arm and a leg to live in a basement sometimes.
You're paying an arm and a leg to live any which part you want to live.
Let me tell you something.
You're paying an arm and a leg and somebody's firstborn and or yours.
That is the exact reason why we moved here. Because I was living on my own, and I don't live there anymore, so I can say it. I was living on my own in Peel Region area, Mississauga area.
Yeah.
And I was paying $19.75 for a 1-bedroom, 1 den. And the den wasn't even a den. It was a wall and a little space. But anyways,
it really was.
It was not a den.
She was cute, but it was just
like she was, yeah, it was just
knocked on a wall and just said here.
It was given den. It wasn't given den. But anyways, so I lived there on my own, and this was my first time, and it was cute. It's cute for one person. Like, I will not diss the place.
Very cute for a single person.
Very cute for a single individual living there. And it was a good start. And, you know, that was just my rent. That wasn't my utilities. That wasn't my car note at the time when I was paying for it. That wasn't my gas. That wasn't my groceries.
Parking spot?
They included the parking spot.
Oh, wow.
That included nice. The one parking spot. But it don't include nothing else. So I wouldn't say on average, it's not every month I paid this because, you know, you don't pay water every month.
Yeah.
But on average, I was paying $2,200 for rent and utilities. That didn't include for me to breathe and eat.
That drive to look at car, put gas in.
Right, and beard my skin. That didn't include my maintenance. It didn't include my hygiene. It didn't include my feminine hygiene. It didn't include my eyebrows, my nails, my toe them. It didn't include none of that. And I had you're laughing.
That was just to lay your head down.
That was just to sleep. I had to work a 9 to 5, and then I also had to teach at like 3 different studios just to maintain that. So when you say I spread myself thin, I'm so used to it automatically because life is so hard.
Them time there, she was yassa, here.
I barely spent time at the place.
And she had to pay a big rent for it.
Right. That's why I didn't go nowhere. Everybody was asking me to go places. I'm like, go where? The one little time I have to spend, this one little time let me full jet in 1975, no man.
Not even with the buckle of 1975 because you can't even afford that.
So for them, that I really went on a tangent, but for that, they then tried to raise my rent to $2,200, and that was what I was paying for everything. So then I'm like, but wait. So then now that means I did the math. I'm like, no.
That's a $3,000 a month.
Well, yeah, I was already hitting that when you get my card,
That's what I'm saying.
my insurance.
So that was more than that.
So yeah, I was touching like almost 45 a month.
Jeez on peace.
And I said, no, brother. As my granny would say, Nobby. I was like, no, ma'am. How am I going to do this?
Like, I just, like, granted, I am a wholesome child who doesn't live on her own right now. And I can't, like, even just what I have to manage myself, and I'm not afraid to admit this, my money management skills is not the greatest. It's
but
not
you can't
terrible,
even manage the skills of the money because there's no money to manage for the skill.
Because when I see the money, it gone. And then I say, well, we'll only have one life and God soon reach. So I might as well just spend the money because I can't take the debt with me. The one the debt me have to pay as is to God. If no want to cash.
No, but facts though, because that's literally like what it is. And it's like, when you think about it, it's just, it doesn't make sense. So for them to be able to do that, now mind you, like they can do that. And they didn't increase it like crazy, but they still increased it to a lot more.
Doesn't matter. Any type of increase is too much.
Right. That's way more than 2%. And so that's how I discovered that, because I wasn't privy to that information. I thought it was like everyone across the board couldn't raise their rent to that much, but it depends on how old your building is. So I had to put that in mind. And now mind you, like, although like things were tight, like there was days where it got tight, I did have a supportive system there for me. And I did have my boyfriend. And there was a point in time where like the last couple of months, like I had to like bite my tongue because I'm very independent, but I'm like, yo, can you help me with some groceries? Because I am hungry. Like, and like,
I'm not laughing at it, but like, I know, like, I know it's real because like me and my Uncle belly stuff would go to her husband. Shit, where's the snack?
There's no snacks. None. For who? For what? I can't afford it.
She had no snack.
I have no snack, man. I have no chip, I have no cooking numbers, I have nothing.
No dip, no chip, no nothing. Oh gosh.
Not even listen, anyways. So with knowing that, I said to myself, like, when we move now, I had to kind of put my foot down. Even though I knew we were going in that direction, I had to look at my boyfriend and be like, brother, I don't want to tuck my tail and go back home because I enjoy living outside. And it was a good experience for me. It was better for me to move out because I just wanted to feel that freedom. I'm in my 30s. Like, I want to have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to lose that. So I had to look at him and I say, look, I'm not pressuring you, but I'm pressuring you. Like at the same time, because I can't do this alone.
Because like you think that like you're trying to save money for a house, but oh my God, like I can't save.
We can't, because even
like,
when we start to save, any day it just can drop and change because the interest rate just goes up every hour.
What you think you already saved, you need more.
Before there was a small point in time in the beginning where it used to be anywhere between like 50K was like good for a down payment for a house. 60K is good for a down payment. That is a joke. That's you needed well over $100,000 to put down for a house. Well. Especially in order for you to survive or to get an interest rate and a mortgage rate that won't be...
y'all don't quote me. They're really good with maths too much.
Well, it's expensive. And then you have property taxes and you have this taxes. You know what I'm saying? Every tax.
And I didn't have a baby yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I just like... I don't like to sound like I'm complaining because like, praise God. But like, life is just a lot of money.
And at one point, I used to not want to admit that I was renting. I thought I downed upon it.
Shame.
I am not shamed at all. At all. Because you want to know what? It's hard.
Some people don't even have money to rent.
That's what I'm saying. And then on top of that, because of how everything is set up, it's like it's set for us to fail.
It
I
is.
keep saying it because it's realistically, like, all jokes aside, we are not equipped to afford this life. We are in a full recession and there is nothing we can do about
We
it.
all live above our means.
And we all are living paycheck to
I was just
paycheck.
gonna say that, like, I can't, like, well, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel like most of us are living paycheck to paychecks off our savings, something. Like, we're not
It's
like
hard.
no, like me, like listen. There have been times where I would be enjoying a nice little food because I'm buying takeout, and there's $10 in my bank account.
Listen, I'll use my
And I'm
my last $5 at Starbucks today
I'm
gladly.
grinning ear
Because
to
it makes me
ear.
feel good.
That me I said, because all I'm saying is like, you not steal my joy.
No,
okay.
I want to
So
full
I'm-
joy this
I
book
want
life.
to full giant, fully.
And like, I'm on a strict budget. Like, I have a whole expense
Oh,
tracker.
now I'm more responsible, guys.
Yeah, but even when you're responsible, it's like you still want to have like your
You still
guilty
wanna have
pleasures to
fun.
be satisfied,
Yeah.
and it's hard to satisfy your cravings when everything is so expensive and the cost of living is increasing every single day, but the paycheck is staying the same bare minimum.
That's why I go to Jamaica and I live, laugh, love. Because why? Because I can.
And there's no change to it. And it's
nothing.
like, what scares me too is that, like, as much as I'm screaming, like, I don't fear having a child, because at this point it's like,
No,
what else can I do?
Baby Alphabon.
Right? And then but what fears me is not having the child. It's, how is that child going to live if I'm living so rough right now? What is it going to look like for them?
Only breast milk can't keep you for so long.
Right. Have you seen the price of formula? Like, Bridget.
And then that's another thing. Like, some people who have children who can't breastfeed, formula expensive, and them lock up the formula, so they can't even teeth it.
I'm telling you. And then, like, we see our brother, and he tells us every day, it's ghetto, don't do it.
But I love them so much because, like, look at how cute you are.
I love my nieces and my nephews, but it's like, I just see life and I'm like, damn, like, how am I gonna prep myself for this? Like, there's so much difference. We have the baby nephew, and then we have the older nephews who's in high school, who I might have to pull up to the high school and start, people.
Like, you know what I'm
I might have to
saying?
start
Like,
draping up kids, because kids don't know how to be nice to each other nowadays.
I'm telling
And then I'm just like,
you.
I'm already feeling that with my nieces and nephews. So I'm like, yo, how am I gonna be able to do this when I have my
I'm
own
homeschooling.
and not come to the school and start?
No, we're homeschooling.
Because I might just pull up to the school and just find your mom or dad or the person that you're with. I'd be like, yo, come outside.
Where's the parent or guardian?
Because that's what I'm saying.
Tell them to run up.
So I'm so nervous that it's like, I can't even be nervous, because there's no point in being nervous, because life is going to be this way and it's going to get even worse. Sarah.
Live, laugh, love, my friends. Because all while gone, me can't bother with it anymore. That's why I just do what I need to do. My last Jamaica trip, you think I cared? I didn't blink twice.
It's
I said,
crazy.
check out.
But that's what you need for your mental, because it's so hard.
Because it's so bad. And I'm just like, I don't want to work so hard like this for the rest of my life. Granted, sometimes I feel like I do the bare minimum. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I'm not working enough, or I feel like I'm working too much, and then I wonder where my money is going, and I'm just like, am I even paying bills? Like, what am I even doing right now?
Yeah.
Like, I have those moments, but then I'm just like, all while gone, I just go buy a Starbucks juice and I feel better.
But that's real though, because at some point,
Like,
it's
real
like
life emotions.
you just look at it and you're just like, what can I do? And what can be done? And then when you feel like you don't have that control, just like I said, you just feel like you want to snap and break. And, going and doing that on my own, then I'm going back to the rent, sorry. But going and doing that on my own, paying all that in my own spot, and, realizing I couldn't do it, then them saying that we're going to increase it, and then me having to do my homework and seeing what they could and could not do, and realizing that they definitely could. I had to go back and be like, okay, so how am I going to do this? So when I stepped,
How do I get out of here?
Right? I stepped and I said to my boyfriend, like, hey, like, we've been together for so long, like, it was a little, I knew it was going to happen. I just, tried to like push it just a little bit more, you know what I'm saying?
But again, to go back to the patient,
right,
of that.
Right. But I think he saw that, and I think he knew that was the next step.
Yeah.
So the good thing about it is that when we were looking, like, yeah, I was concerned, because I said, if we find somewhere newer, and I'm very bougie, as much as
Besides all
have
the
it,
very.
I have it. I'm very bougie, okay? I don't want to live nowhere dirty or look anything, because I am still Lily
Not you
Okay.
calling her government
I'm
name. Oh,
gonna
okay.
blur up that ending, but it just came out naturally.
Yeah.
But I'm still very much Lily's daughter. So with that being said, I need to live somewhere nice and look
No
cute.
roaches.
None at all. So when I'm looking at places and like obviously the newer condo buildings, I'm realizing how expensive it is. I'm realizing what I just went through. I'm like, I'm not trying to hear somebody increase their rent to more than this. So when we found this spot, I immediately knew I wanted to live here because I said to myself, this is a building that is older, and yes, on the outside you might squint your eye, but when you get inside you're like, wow. And it's like,
Listen,
yes.
this is what they say.
And I got
Don't judge a
lucked
book by
out.
its cover.
Right. And I got lucked out. But as soon as I got here, I knew I wanted to live here. And it took a little bit of convincing because when you add up everything, it makes sense to what people are paying for something less and for something smaller. And the fact that we have rent control is the greater part of it because they can't increase our rent to an astonishing number. Like they have to stay within that. They can't increase it more. So that was like what my method was because I learned from my experience, but a lot of people don't know that. And I think that the government shields that because they obviously don't want people to be privy of this information, but y'all need to know.
I just think they just want us to move out of Canada at this point.
They don't, no, it's not even Canada. It's they don't want us to live. They want us for dead off. Like that's what they want because they kind of.
How do you want us to dead off? But you ain't gonna get no money then.
But that's the thing. But as you're just one less of the population that owes the money, so it's like figure it out. But it makes sense because at that point, that's where you have to sit with. Mind you, my place that I used to live with, I want to remind you, I was paying $19.75. A next person lives there right now, and they're paying $2,500.
Probably more now.
Not yet. Well, they're probably gonna increase it again.
That's what I'm saying. They're probably increase it again.
That person paid that, and that person was living in the same place that I was living. And mind you, it was 600 square feet. Imagine paying that much money for a box.
For those of you who know the space, you know
it's
you're not
small.
paying that. It was pinch.
Like the episodes that we did like prior to when we were filming, that was in the living room, and the kitchen was right next to the living room.
Right
it was like
next door.
The kitchen and then the living room. It was right there.
Next door.
Two
and the
steps
room right in front of you.
Yeah, and then my bedroom was right in front of you, and then the den was over there in the corner of the wall and the space to the door. That's the den, and then the bathroom,
and then the door to exit to leave to the place that she was barely at.
I was right. But mind you, it was cute. It was comfortable.
She was cute. It's just honestly, all me I can say is them need to lower the prices of things
or increase the price of paying for work.
That's what I'm saying.
Pay your workers more if that's the case. Government find the money and increase the pay for people so that they can live because we can't live. Like, let's be real. Like, it's like we said, it's bad, it's sad, and I know we're running jokes, and I know we're talking about this for a long time, but like really and truly, like all seriousness, all jokes aside, we cannot live. We can't. Don't let any of these people on social media fool you. Don't let these people who will come to you, who will tell you oh, let's make this income. I'm a 6-figure, 7. Listen to me good, yeah? That is not it. It's a side hustle job that you're making a little bit of extra money upon the side.
Which is fine.
Which is great.
But you need a main income.
But you do need a main income. And it's like, unless you have set yourself to a certain standard where like you're up here and you're working with it, it's hard for you to get there. And even the people who are here, don't let them confuse you or fool you. It's hard for them up here too.
And the people who are up there are coming for the people who are yasa. So I don't understand how you're coming for people who are at the bottom who ain't had no funds. They're the ones who are coming for the people who will use their last because they think that it's something good that they should be doing because it's an investment. No.
Don't fall and what happened to all these stuff? What happened to the Bitcoins? What happened to all these things?
It's too many. There's too many things. That a lot of people are dabbling in that I've seen from pre-pandemic
just to force an income
now, just to get an income. I'm seeing certain like people that I've seen on social media switch. I'm just like, this should show you, and the people that like they're sliding into DMs that this is not it. This is all a facade. This is all a show. Granted, I'm not saying that in these little side hustles that they're doing or whatever the case may be, that they're not ways that you can make money, because you can very much so make money off of the internet and all of those things, but because there's money for everybody. But it's just like, not everything is for you.
Yes.
And I think that's where people get confused, that just because somebody else is doing something, that doesn't mean that's also the same path for yourself.
I agree. And I also think that there's people who are making like good income, whether they're invested in houses,
Yeah.
flipping houses, investments, mortgages, like things like that. People in real estate, like all of that is great. And I love that. But, and I'm not saying that everybody feels this way, but even the people who are, own properties, they're feeling it too.
Yeah.
They're feeling all these things. And it is shaky. And it like, think about raising children and all those stuff. So it's like there's no preparation book, there's no manual book for this thing called life. You
Yeah.
just got to go and live it.
Remember, like when people are like renting their spaces to other people and say those people don't have it, some people are relying on those people as that
to pay their mortgage.
It's a domino effect, and it affects not just the people who are living there. It affects the people who are renting that space to somebody because certain people just don't have it. And it's just, life is just expensive, but all while gone. Like I always say, God is good and he's going to pull through.
Yeah.
He's going to help the man then.
I hear like that part. I definitely know, and I know it's a part of life and I hear it. It just sucks. And I just hope, and I fingers crossed that like there's things that can be figured out, because right now it's like, no matter how many you fail to plan, you plan to fail, you hear, it's still hard to even plan anything.
Very much
because it's like, you can be hit with anything. So I think at this point, like, don't be afraid to like take steps. Don't be afraid to take your time. Don't be afraid to rent. Like I have honestly been sitting down contemplating on like, if there comes to a time where, Bay and I have to sit down and we have to stack up some money for a house. Like I've thought about it. I'm like, okay, I might have to, move back home and like get a little space down, with mom and like fix up stuff. Like these are things that you have to make. Though I won't call it a sacrifice, but you got to make that move to get to the bigger picture sometimes. So sometimes it's okay to swallow your pride and go back. Now, I'm not saying that might be the case. I might be able to stay here. You never know, because we do things together. But then some people don't have the luxury of having somebody with them to do those things. Yeah. So then, speaking to someone who isn't in a relationship and doesn't have a partner to do that with, what do they do? I feel for you. And but the government doesn't. But I feel for you.
Even some people who do have a partner to do it with, they
can't both do it together because the income don't make sense. That's why you have to keep going back to how you expect us to live if you don't even pay us a good living amount to live.
Facts.
It's crazy. It's honestly crazy.
I was gonna buy the Starbucks juice to make my iced coffee at home. Sharing the Starbucks juice is $8.59. I had to put it down.
It's expensive.
I had to
it's expensive.
Like I laughed, but like I had to put it down.
It's expensive.
So I was like $9. No, I couldn't do it. And then that's excluding the oat milk, the sweetener, what the sweetener name for the syrup, and the creamer. That's excluding all three of those.
Like you want to get groceries and not buy food out, but if you can't, the groceries don't last for the week.
You might as well go buy the $7 coffee at Starbucks. Yeah,
because it costs $15 to make it at home.
$15 to make it at home, and it only lasts like a week. It doesn't even last a week. It lasts 3 juice, and it's over with. Like, brother.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Goodness.
Oh man.
Anyways.
And like everywhere's going through it, but like I feel it for us more so our generation. Like, let me tell you, I feel your pain.
We are here for you.
I am here for you too. I think we should all just hold hands and YOLO, because at this point it is what it is. Like,
it is what it is, and gonna be what it is.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I don't know what else has been going on in the world. Chris Brown went to Jamaica without us.
This girl said Chris Brown went to Jamaica without us.
What else happened? He did. Very much sad. See, inflation couldn't even let me go to y'all to go see my bestie.
Yeah, I couldn't even do it. I was like, I was way too busy.
We were busy. We're crazy because we thought about it for like 5 minutes.
Oh, I did. I tried. I was like, what does it look like? And then it was like $1,500 just to go on a flight. I was like, yeah, no. And it wasn't even a good flight airline. It's an airline that you just have to really pray and hold the seat and close your eyes. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot that's been like occurring, but I just have been so out of it that like, as much as I've paid attention, I haven't really paid attention to things.
Yeah, I haven't really paid like much, but then again, I never did.
Yeah, I think I really do want to I really want to do that Chris Brown episode. I know we've been saying and talking about it, but like, I really want to do that. I just feel like it's going to be completely biased, but that's fine.
I don't think it's going to be biased. And here's my defense on why I don't think it's going to be biased. Because all of you guys think I'm like, well, not think I am a Chris Brown stan. But I can admit, like, when I don't like something, or like when I think that like he was probably out of line, or like crossed the line or some sort, like, and that there's growth. Again, obviously I know I don't know the man personally. Quick disclaimer before you guys think I'm not so right in the head. But like, I can admit that. But like, all while gone, facts are facts.
That's true.
And after watching the little interview that he did today, facts are facts, guys.
No, I think I wanna do that one day. I like really soon.
It's coming.
Yeah.
No, it's coming. I have all like, I'm ready to go, because
Yeah. Just one more note. I know I always go back to dance, but
this is what we do.
I just think that the art of dance is getting lost in the trend of dancing right now.
This is where we're going, and I love it.
I'm seeing things, and I'm like, is this where dance is going? Like, is it no longer about the steps, and it's about more so the clout, the outrage,
the attention grabbing?
Like, is that what we're doing? Because I feel like we're attracting all of the wrong things when it comes to dancing nowadays. And again, I don't know if it's because I don't know if it's because times are changing. I don't know if I'm too old for this.
No.
But
it's definitely not that.
I'm seeing like things being glorified more than other things, and I'm like, this is the exact same thing that you're doing. Why are you glorifying one person and not the other person when it's the exact same persons that work for the same people? I get confused with that. I get confused with people's work ethic. I get confused with people's etiquette in rooms and the choices that they make.
Yeah.
And then I get confused with like what we are producing and showing, and are we really bringing this narrative where dance is no longer about the art, it's about the glamorizing, the sexualizing, the like, is that where we're glorifying that side? Or are we really here for the art, where the movement is where you're supposed to use for expression, for education, for knowledge, for growth, for expansion? Like, am I here to train, or am I here to post on Instagram? Am I here to train, or am I here to grab the attention of somebody? Am I going to train, or am I just going to throw myself in a music video and then come to a set not prepared, not knowing what I'm doing, and just expect it to go because of what I have on my following on Instagram, or who I train with, or what, like, what show I've done
anymore. It's people are putting like the classes they taken. No, the classes you've taken mean absolutely nothing.
I'm so confused.
Like, that's not on a resume. Like, don't put the class that's not training. That's just going to take class.
I'm so confused with the direction that it's going in. And it's like, the movements are not done correctly. And then anything can be like, I'm seeing people dancing to like dancehall music, like hip hop movement.
I saw something the other day, and they called it hip hop heels. And I had no words, because I was like, what is that?
I feel like, you can do heels dancing, and it can do anything, but you don't have to call it. Just call it heels class.
Yeah, they literally called it hip hop heels with like the hip hop steps, but in heel. Like, that was the description, but in heels. And I said, oh gosh,
I just don't understand the movement right now.
I don't get it.
And it's like, forget the hip hop and heels. Why are we doing like it's not what. Let me. It's not the music you're dancing to, because I did jazz to Taliban's.
Yes,
but I added the elements, the movement quality. There's parts where it was.
I thought she was joking. When I saw the real video, I thought you were kidding. I was like, oh, I thought you just put a song over it.
No. I actually used a song.
Like, you're my sister, but that was sick.
But I use movement in it that relates to it. You know what I'm saying? So there's people who do it correctly, because you really can dance to anything, but it's how you dance to it. Yeah. So if you're going to do a jazz funk to Temperature, by Sean Paul, I would assume that you're going to put the textures that will go to the music so that it reads well.
So we understand why you're dancing to that
Yeah,
song.
but if I'm looking at it, I get confused. And then it's like, what are we glorifying? I don't know what it is anymore. And I recently like had to sit back, watch something, and then like be like, damn.
Everything is now fusion. And that's the word that they use now to try to, what's the word I'm looking for lack of a better word, to try to get away with
to excuse the inappropriate.
There we go, to excuse it.
Appropriation.
So they use the word fusion to try to avoid any controversy of that. So like, just because I've seen it all the time, like dance hall fusion. Like, what is?
Don't even get me started on a dance hall fusion. And how someone, let me tell you something. I'm sorry. I'm speaking to a particular studio right now. Okay, I'm speaking to you, and you're lucky I can't say your name because you are the type of environment that will go and sue for whatever and all these things. So let me just speak to you because everybody knows
Everything
who I'm talking
alleged.
about. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. Okay, above and ground. Okay, the hint is there. Y'all really got to figure out who's going to be teaching these dance hall classes, because I'm just sitting back and I'm just like, excuse me? Who's teaching dance hall? What fusion? Who? And they've never taken an opportunity. Listen, I don't want to start. I don't want to stop me up, please. I just want to talk to you and just tell you, like, that is not it. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like sometimes, and I don't want people to think that like we come off as like hating or
We're
whatever
not.
the case
We're just being
may be.
honest. We're saying all the
Like,
things that you say in your head.
Facts. Because let's be real here. Like, we're saying what you guys are thinking. And it just, to me, it's just like, why do we continue to keep doing this? Like, why?
I think some people are trying to make it, and they think that this is the process of how they need to make it. They need to do these things to make it. It's like,
what happened to being yourself and just doing what you know how to do and doing what you know best? I say this all the time. I'm very much from Jamaican parents, very much raised with Jamaican culture, never left my body. As you can tell with the little pato that I talk, that is, is not the greatest, but you know what I mean? Like, but you will never in your life catch me teaching anybody dancehall.
yeah.
Like, never. You wouldn't do it. I'll teach you how to do the little viral dancehall grooves that I see, but like, that's all I'm doing for you.
But it wouldn't be appropriation if, when it's your culture, you know how to explain it, you know how to move it, you know how to do it. So it's not like it's not there, but it's like, yeah, when it comes to like the deeper root of education, like, yeah, I can't educate you on it because it's a part of my culture. Yeah. And in order for you to educate yourself on the culture, you have to go do your research.
Yeah.
I just live it.
Facts.
I live it because it's a part of my life. It's my parents. Like,
it's what I know.
It's what I know.
Yeah.
So I can't educate you on those things. I can't educate you on how to just catch the move because it has to be in you. You have to be built for it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So I think that's the part where it just gets confusing. But I don't get at people who want to educate themselves in different styles and all those things like that. That's not what I'm getting at you.
That's the point of dancehall culture is to bring people together.
It's just like there are people who could be teaching that.
Yes.
And you're not utilizing those people because you don't want to pay them the rate that they want to be paid because they deserve to be paid that way, or B, you're looking at the following count to see who is more of an in now generational. You're looking at the age, you're looking at all those things, but you're not really looking at the success and the bigger picture of it is that the retention is if you have the proper educator in the room.
Yes.
You will not retain people if the proper educator is not educating folks.
If you want business to continue, you should probably invest in that so that you can also have the numbers. If you're looking at it as a quote unquote business perspective, you would obviously bring somebody who can bring you that business.
Let me tell you something, and let me stop you right there because it's going to bring me to something where I'm in right now currently. I am an artistic director for a studio. I am in charge of the programming, right? So I've made a decision to start cleaning house and hiring the proper educators to be teaching these styles of dance. And I sense that some people might have took offense to it or might have thought that it was a personal thing. But let me tell you something. When it comes to dance, the vision is never blurry because it's so much in me and it's so much of me and it's so much a part of me that I hardly ever let the personal inflict with what is right for the business and for the betterment of the students. I have a soft spot. As much as I am very disciplined on these kids, I have a soft spot for them. I truly, honestly love all of them. Like,
I know.
all of my students, I love them. My students make me happy. My students have made me cry. My students have got me mad. They bring every string of emotion for me because I'm with them every week, every time, every day.
You're with them for like many hours of the day.
Right. So some people take it as, oh, well, she let go, or she did this, and now there's new people everywhere. Or like, oh my gosh, there's so many new teachers. Or, oh my God, no. We did this for the betterment of the studio and of the kids. The proper educators need to be in the rooms to educate these students.
Like, if you want, you have to remember that, like, parents, guardians, whatever, are putting money into their kids to learn.
Thousands of dollars. Like, from when we danced.
From when...
thousands of
dollars
to millions. I would say millions. We're at the millions of how much our parents spend on dance.
Now that I'm older, I've understood how much money went into this, and I'm
just like,
wow. So the fact that parents are putting in so much money, you need to make sure that you're giving these parents quality. If I'm paying for something, it's like when you go to a restaurant, you want quality food. If something is not good or up to your standards, and you're realizing you're spending $100 on a plate of food, you're gonna let management know.
Yeah, as you rightfully should.
So the same goes for dance. If I'm going to spend my big money, even me, my big age, when I go to training programs, I'm training with quality people who are going to teach me something. And I know that I'm getting my money's worth. And I think that's what people need to remember, is that this is what people are paying for. Yep. I'm paying for quality. If you don't want quality, you go somewhere else.
And that's the thing. Like, it's always about the quality. It's not always about the quantity in some cases when it comes to the amount or this. Like, it's the quality training that needs to be provided. And that's what's being forgotten about in the competitive recreational world and also in the industry world.
Most definitely.
Like, there's not the proper educators that are in the room. And it's affecting the dance world because now this is not dancing. What I'm seeing is not dancing. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that is, but it ain't dancing. It is not giving dance. It is giving something else.
And we're all here for expressing different emotions, styles, all of that. But like it comes to a point where like it's flat out, you know what this is.
Listen, it's feeding into the stigma of dancers are strippers.
Yes.
It's feeding into that stigma now.
People, like, unless like you know me, people will ask me, oh, like, where do you dance? And I'm looking at them like, what do you mean, like, where?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Because they're looking at it like that because, you know, that they call it exotic dancing, but we're feeding into that stigma. Yeah. Where like now
if you do that, good for you. But like for me, I take that as offense only because not me. My parents didn't spend all that money for you to think that's what I do.
No, that's not what I'm limited to.
That's not what I'm limited to. I'm not doing that.
That's another thing too. That's like we shouldn't have limitations, but now it's like I just feel like we are limiting ourselves in this dance world because we're limiting ourselves to what is going to grab the attention and what's going to bring the conversations and bring the clout. Mm-hmm. We're limited into clout. We're staying in the clout box and we're not removing ourselves. And I don't understand why. And it's like, where are we going to get the proper stuff to happen? Like, I don't like the direction that dance is going in. And I'm really concerned. Like, I'm really, really concerned.
Yeah, it's a lot to digest at once. And it's just like, it's too much sometimes. Like, what happened to quality, like performances, shows, classes, everything? Like,
with like what happened to the production?
Like, they're like
what
ideas,
happened to the producing?
Yeah, like creative ideas, creative shows. Like, what happened to that? Like, the last creative show I did was Nightmares with Toya and Ron, and like that was like I saw the vision.
Yeah, like a theater,
like there was a theme to it, and all the dances made sense, and it went with the theme of the show. So it's just like, what happened to that essence?
It's like now it doesn't matter. What happened to like being selective with the costume picking? Like, what happened to these things? It's just like, oh, just slap whatever you want to wear, or this don't wear anything, or just go on stage with nothing on. Yeah. Like, I just don't understand it. Like I'm not like I'm all for expressing, and I'm all for living in your body, living being expressive with your movement, bringing something to life. I'm all for it, but it's just starting to look the same. It's just starting to look like we're just trying to get outrage versus like enjoyment. We're trying to seek the outrage more than seeking like it's almost also seeking validation at the same
It's kind of like
time.
we're forgetting. Remember when shows used to like leave you speechless and you would like leave the show and like talk about it? Like I feel like that
You're
essence is
just
not there anymore.
the essence of leaving that long lasting effect is
Yeah.
out the window. It's all short term feelings that we're
Very.
providing.
Yeah.
Short term feelings. Talk about it one day. Talk about it a few days, and then it's off. It's
Post
not
it
a
on your
memory.
Instagram stories. Repost
We're
it.
not
That's
building memories in the dance industry anymore. Remember when there were pieces that are memorable, where like you would be like,
Yep.
"Yo, I will never forget this dance."
I can only talk about stuff that like has happened like prior to like way
Right.
back in the day.
There's nothing memorable now. We're not leaving anything on the stage for people to remember.
Yeah, like I can't talk. I think was it an AIM Toronto show? Was it a Shoemaker Blake show? I think was the last time that like because my friend Nathan did his poetry reading at one of her shows. I think that was like the last time where I was really like, wow, somebody like this is a show, and that was
It's been a while.
ago. It's been a while.
And it just needs to change.
We should bring it back.
Yeah, or just
It's
bring it
fun
back.
to have like all the fun. Like there's nothing wrong with just having fun and just having a fun piece. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think the essence, like we keep been saying, is just gone.
It's lackluster.
Yeah, it's very much
lackluster.
like bare minimum.
Yeah, it's lackluster. It's like everybody's doing it now. What makes you different from everybody else? What separates you from
Like
them?
why? And especially with these prices that these shows are costing, I'm gonna need the quality to match. For me,
Put more into it. Don't make it look like it's not
like
all the way
I don't
there.
mind paying. I just want everything to match and make sense.
There was a lot of shows that happened, and I know that there was one where it was like it was almost there, but then when I was like watching and like I saw like I didn't actually go to the show, but when I saw like the pieces on like Instagram and stuff,
like the little behind the scenes.
yeah, I'm like, yo, this doesn't look completed. It was given incomplete. It was like I have a show date that I want to do, and I need to half-ass it and get everything together. So there might be some missing holes and pieces, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It just looked like that's what it was when you watched the routines.
Yeah.
And it like they just needed like 2-3 more weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just think there's more time, more creativity needs to go into these things, and more quality needs to go into it, and just like bring back the art of dance. I just think that's just the overall message. Just bring it back.
Just bring it back. It's fine. We're not too far. Hopefully we just bring it back. Do a little U-turn. Come back.
Yeah. Well, we what is it? Unpacked it? Yeah. We unpacked a lot. Unpacked it.
Did we? I feel like we didn't like unpack that much.
We did?
I don't know. I just feel no, not in a bad way. I just feel like we just talked. A little hangout.
A little chit chat.
A little chitty chat. A little catch up.
You know, like I said, we're working on it. We're gonna do some behind the scenes. I'll tell you right now, underneath the couch, there are some panels that I had up here to put on here, and I looked at it, and I'm not sold on it. So Devaney, please, when you're watching this, you're gonna wonder where the panels are.
Screaming.
They are on the floor underneath the couch, and that's the reason.
Yourself?
No, I'm exposing myself because I'm being honest. I tried so hard, and I looked, and I'm like, no, and then I want to commit to it, but then if I do all the work and I don't like it, I'm gonna throw something.
What are you trying to put up here?
The 3D panels.
Oh.
Look, I'll show you. See, so no, sir, I'm not lying. I'm literally going underneath the couch.
Oh, you hit the thing with the okay. Listen, what did Tristan not do in this room? Like, what did you do?
You know? So look, it there, but I'm just nervous that I put it on the wall and I won't like it.
But is the sign gonna hang off of it, or you can put it around the sign?
No, man, look, the sign have the hole upon the corner of them.
Yeah.
We just have to screw,
I
drill the hole.
I feel like, for all of those who are watching on YouTube, I feel like you don't see the vision.
I see it, but I'm so scared to commit.
What do you guys think, friends? You see the vision? No?
No. I want to do it, but I'm so afraid to commit. So
Shan's the type of person that she'll stare at it for a little while. And
my gosh. I
she'll
need you guys to understand. I bought those panels like 4 months ago, and it's still on the floor.
What did you... I don't know what she did. There was something in here that she had, and she all till about 5 months before she put it up.
Oh, the pictures.
Yeah.
All the pictures, and they were hanging up here.
They're just chilling.
Yeah. I'm trying my best. I was trying to force it to happen so then that way we could come up with an episode, but then I'm like, I can't commit. So just allow me. It's coming. Eventually I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know something's gonna be done. I just want to be satisfied. And if I'm not satisfied and I do all that work for nothing, I'm gonna get cheese. So I just want to make sure that I can commit to it. And if I like it or not, then it's gonna stay up there because I swear to you, I'm not gonna blood, sweat, and tear and put this thing up on a wall and then I have to come take it back down because I'll get so upset and so will my man.
I'm screaming.
So anyways,
I feel like our next episode should be our Chris Brown episode.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
We're gonna have to. This is because it's gonna be a deep dive, and you better listen.
This girl said you better.
I'm watching all of you guys. You better listen, bro.
That's crazy.
You're going to listen. Yeah, we're gonna sit down and talk about it. But thanks for sitting down with us and listening to us chit chat and have a little therapy session and appreciating our little hiatus. I'm gonna be a nicer sister and help out a little bit. I'm not social media and or tech savvy, guys, so don't be expecting big things, okay?
I'll show you the ropes.
Yeah, just look at 1, 2. I'm not in the editing ropes yet, so don't get excited.
No, I won't do that, but I'll show you how to
low
do
1, 2,
audio.
3, 4, but like that's about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening and watching. Appreciate y'all. You better like, comment, and subscribe on the tubes. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. CheyTea Podcast everywhere.
Good for you.
Thank you so
much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace and blessings. God bless. Read Psalms 23.
Oh my gosh.
Just gotta leave people with a word.